Hello and welcome to the next YouTube video on my channel. My name is Roman, and I guess that if you have clicked on this video, you really want to find out how to destroy every chess beginner in only 6 moves in the game of chess, right? Before I'll show you how to do this, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss anything new. Thank you. The trap with which you can do this starts with the very famous Queen's Gambit, after which the very popular and famous Netflix series has been named. By the way, let me know in the comments whether you have watched this series, and if yes, whether you liked it, because actually I haven't watched it yet. How you hopefully already know, the very famous Queen's Gambit starts with pawns to d4 and d5, followed directly by the key, or also called the main move of the Queen's Gambit, which is pawn to c4, just offering your opponent a little gift of a pawn, already on move 2 of the game. Your opponent has to accept the gambit, the Queen's Gambit, and that's already the first reason why you should try to win against a chess beginner with this trap, because I really think that lots of advanced chess players will rather decline the gambit by playing pawn to e6, for example, but yes, a chess player, in most of the cases, will accept the gambit by capturing your pawn now on c4. And now your opponent is just one piece or 1 point of material up. And now we continue with the old Queen's Gambit variation, which is pawn to e3, opening up the diagonal for our king's bishop, also attacking our opponent's pawn here on c4. And now we also come to the second reason why this trap is meant to be played against a chess beginner, because in this position your opponent has to play the not so good move pawn to b5, trying to defend the now attacked pawn here on c4. Because I really think that lots of advanced chess players would rather continue with pawn to e5, or for example knight to f6, just giving this pawn here on c4 to the bishop on f1. So our opponent has to play pawn to b5. So on pawn to b5 here by black, which is definitely not a good move, you continue attacking by playing pawn to a4. And now your chess beginner opponent will think that if he captures your pawn here on a4, we will be able to capture his pawn on c4 with the bishop, and therefore his move pawn to b5 would be useless. Therefore, he has to defend this pawn now on b5 by playing pawn to c6, which is definitely a very big mistake. A better move in this position would have been to advance the d pawn on b4, because these two pawns here now on c4 and on b4 could probably cause some danger for our opponent, because they have gotten so far on the queen side of the chessboard on for white. Yes, but if our opponent does the mistake, because well, he's a chess beginner and he defends his pawn with pawn to c6, then we just play a little trade, we capture our opponent's pawn, they capture back with the c pawn, and now we play the disgusting and also winning move, which is queen to f3. Do you see it? We are just attacking our opponent's rook here on a1 and a8 in the corner of the chessboard, through basically the whole chessboard, through this crazy diagonal, and our opponent just can't do anything against it. We're just winning material here. The best move would even be to sacrifice the knight by moving it on c6, because after we have captured it with the queen with check, they can defend the rook by blocking the check with d8, because now they're defending the rook with the queen. But we have still just won a full knight, and we are standing way better now, and we will be able to win this game now. So you could see now that with this trap you could really destroy lots of your chess beginner friends or members of your family who just don't play very good chess with the Queen's Gambit and only 6 move, because they had to do some mistakes. And therefore I'll now show you the 2 main lines of the Queen's Gambit, also called main continuation variations, where black doesn't lose the game after 6 moves. So the best option for black as move 2 is definitely to decline the gambit by playing pawn to e6, also defending the attacked pawn here on d5. Now we can just continue with normal developing. We develop our knight here on c3, attacking our opponent's pawn on d5 now with the second chess piece. They defend the pawn by playing knight to f6, defending it with a third chess piece now because they have also a queen here. And now we have really lots of different continuation variations. For example, we have the exchange variation. We could capture our opponent's pawn here on d5, and they would capture back with the e6 pawn. We could also just develop our second knight here now on f3, but my favorite variation is to play bishop on g5, pinning our opponent's knight here on f6, because now it's basically not defending the twice attacked pawn here on d5 anymore. Another possible answer on knight to c3 in this position for black is to play pawn to c6, the key also called the main move of the Slav defense, but with one move delayed. This is also just a natural developing and defending move of the attacked pawn here now on d5, and that's why we could also actually just transpose back into the normal queen's gambit by playing moves like knight to f3, pawn to e3, and so on and so on. But an interesting and definitely more aggressive answer here in this position would be to play the very strong move pawn to e4. This move controls the center, the most important place on the whole chessboard, and it creates a huge pawn roller. And disadvantage for black is that the bishop on c8 here, the light squared bishop on c8, the queen's bishop on c8, will have really lots of problems with getting out because he will be blocked all the time by black's e-pawn here. Black could exchange pawns now by capturing our pawn here on e4 with their d-pawn now, but yes, we would just recapture with our knight here from c6 and from c3, controlling lots of the center of the chessboard. But of course at first there also aren't any problems with accepting the queen's gambit and just capturing white's pawn here on c4 with the d-pawn, because well, it's just the gift of a pawn. The main lines are now either pawn to e4 or pawn to e3 with the old queen's gambit. So after, for example, pawn to e4, which is definitely played more, white has built up a pretty solid and strong center. Therefore, you as black can just completely normally continue with developing, starting with, for example, knight to f6. White advances their pawn here on e5, also attacking the black knight, and yes, you just escape on d5, bishop captures pawn on c4, and so on and so on. But I really like to decline the queen's gambit more than to accept it, because this position for me seems a bit bad, because well, white has just the full control over the center of the chessboard with these two pawns on d4 and e5 now. But this wasn't an already with this video in which I have shown you how to destroy every chess beginner in only 6 moves with a very crazy queen's gambit trap. So if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time, bye!